friends, it's Laura, and yes, this is my bare skin. Hopefully I don't scare you too much. But I'm going to demonstrate for you two new full coverage foundations that are out. Over the past few months, I've really gotten away from foundation. I've used CC creams, BB creams, all that kind of stuff. But I know so many of you out there love full coverage or feel you need full coverage because of skin discoloration and that kind of thing. Now, I have my share of problems too. I've got a lot of redness. I've got broken capillaries. So I wanted to see how these would work for those problems that I have. I'm going to first demonstrate a new one from ColourPop and then one from Revlon. Now later in the video I'm going to tell you the candle giveaway winner, and also I have another giveaway I'm going to do. So let's get started. My daughter Danielle was so sweet. She bought me this ColourPop No Filter foundation for my birthday, and she spent 30 minutes on that website looking for just the right shade. They have 42. That's why she spent so long. Well, she ended up picking the lightest of the medium shades for me, and it's perfect for summer. I'm going to order a little bit of a lighter shade for fall, but for right now, I think this looks great. What I notice when I apply it too is that after it dries, it's not quite as dark. So I'm going to go ahead and on one side of my face, I'm going to put it on with a damp sponge. Now this is some sponge. Look at how huge this thing is. I got this at Target. It's the Sonia Kashuk sponge. I love it. And on the other side, because I'm thinking it'll give me a heavier coverage, I'm going to use my favorite brush, which is the e.l.f. blending brush. I'm going to start with some moisturizer. Now I am just going to use my sponge and dab this in, spread it around. My skin has been so dry, I've actually been using Retin-A. And I know I talked about going off Retin-A, but what happened was when I decided to do my video about going off Retin-A, I had just bought a full tube and still had a half of a tube. And I wanted to try and see how my skin would look off of Retin-A, and I think my skin did really great. But since I have all that product, I figured I'd go ahead and use it. So I've been doing Retin-A just once a week as extra exfoliant. But my skin right now is a little red, and I've got something here that doesn't look so good. So that's really good for this video because we're trying to see if it's full coverage or not. So what you'll notice too with the ColourPop is even though they say full coverage, look at it running down my hand, it's very liquidy. And they also said in it that there isn't any oil in it. Yes, it's oil free. So I'm going to go ahead. Now you'll think at first this looks way too dark for me, but once it dries down, it tends to dry down a little lighter. So I'm going to put all this in the center of my face and then just start blending out. Put some under here, and then I'm going to use the sponge on this side. So let's go ahead and start pouncing the sponge. I love this Sonia Kashuk sponge. It is my favorite I've ever used. It's flat on the bottom, yet has this point, and the point really gets great under the eyes. I'm not going to use concealer in this video because I just want to focus on the foundation and what that looks like to you. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the brush over here. You know, I tried washing my sponge with Dawn dishwashing liquid, and boy, did that work great. The product just came rushing out of the sponge, so that was a good way to clean it. I'm glad I found that. Now I have to say my e.l.f. blending brush is a little damp because I washed it before doing the video because it didn't look too great. So it's a little damp like this sponge too, and I can see some of the product is coming off on the brush. I'm going to put a little bit more on this side. I feel like I wasn't fair with the application since this is a little bit damp still. Get up under my eye here. What I liked about this foundation when I've been wearing it the last few days is it didn't get crepey under my eye, and I also found I had to use very little concealer because it offered nice coverage. Let me blend blend this out better. Blend it onto my neck. This is great for putting on sunscreen too. I use this brush. Some of you have commented about that. I use this brush for applying my sunscreen. This ColourPop is cruelty-free, vegan, and it's supposed to be matte, but what do you think? I think it looks a little luminous to me. As a matter of fact, the first day that it came in the mail and I wore it, I ended up not wearing a highlighter because when I looked in the mirror, it was enough of a highlight for me. I don't want beams coming off my face. So I thought it gave a real natural looking highlight. Now, from what I can see with these lights on in the mirror, it looks to me like the brush side is more full coverage. And I definitely think if I put on another layer, say, I could get even more full coverage. But for me personally, I'd probably apply it most of the time with a sponge, unless maybe I was going out at night and I wanted more of a full coverage, because this is more of the look I like when I'm going to work. But let me know what you think in the comments. I am in love with this ColourPop, and actually I think the shade Danielle chose for me is perfect, because it matches like my arms and my other skin, and I love the warmth of it. It really warms me up, and I do have a warm toned skin, so that's why she chose this shade. But I am just really happy with this foundation. This foundation is $12, and Danielle just came in here and looked, and she said she thought this is the best my skin has looked with any foundation since I started my channel. So I'm really excited and pumped about this, because for $12, I think that's so affordable for most people compared with the prices that you see at Sephora for $45, $50, $60 and up for foundation. And they really do give you a generous supply here. It says 0.85 ounces, but this looks like a lot of product here. I did want to mention what I'm wearing on my eyes today is the Violet Voss Like a Boss palette. Danielle bought it for me for my birthday, and it is gorgeous. I just love these shades. I had so much fun playing. Of course, I've got this gold on my eyes, and I mixed some of the neutral shades for the rest of the eye look. But I absolutely love it. Thank you, Danielle, for this sweet gift. And now I'm going to go wash my face, and we're going to try the Revlon foundation. I'm back and I just washed my face. It's a little bit red, but that'll even help for you to see if this is full coverage foundation, so maybe that's a good thing. But I'm going to show the new Colorstay full cover foundation. The shade I picked up is number 200 Nude. I thought it was a really good match for me. It's not as warm as the ColourPop, but I thought it was a good match. Now, the texture of this is very different from the ColourPop. It's not runny at all. This actually looks like a mousse, and I still have a little ColourPop on my hand, so I'll just rub that in a little bit, but it's like a mousse. Actually, some people claim, I don't know if it's true or not, that this was like the Colorstay mousse foundation, and now they've just put it in a different tube. I don't know, but it is very mousse-like. So I'm going to be fair and put on moisturizer again. This is that Lorac moisturizer I picked up at Marshall's, and I love it. It's a gel. It's very similar to the Clinique Moisture Surge. I actually prefer to do it with this sponge. I did want to mention that I first heard about this sponge from my friend Little Poet. Susan had picked it up, and she was talking about it and raving, and I thought, you know, I'm going to try that out, and again, it is fabulous. So thank you, Susan, for that recommendation. Really was great. Now let's get started with the foundation, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to put the sponge on this side and use the brush for this side of my face, and we'll see how that goes. Now I'll tell you, I have tried this one for even more days than the ColourPop, and both of the foundations really stayed. I had them on till maybe 1 in the morning, from 4 or 5 in the morning to the next day at 1, and they really did last. So I'm going to start pouncing this out. You see the color difference. This is a paler shade on me and more neutral, not as warm, but I like the look of it. This runs $9.99 at some stores. I've seen it up to $13.99 depending where you buy it. If you pick it up at Walmart, you can usually get it for like $9.99. So it blends really easily. I love the look of it. I think it's really pretty. And now let's go ahead and do the brush. This is good. I'm glad my skin was so red because it gives you a better opportunity to see how it covers redness or maybe spots and things like that. Yeah, I like the look of this. They say this has a new technology. They call it time release technology, that it's supposed to just keep refreshing itself. I don't know if it does that, but definitely it did last well during the day, and I thought looked very nice. Now, it doesn't look to me quite as luminous as the ColourPop, but take a look at it and see what you think. I think this side of my face where I used the sponge is not as full coverage as this side where I used the brush. I'd love to hear your opinion, but just from what I can see, it appears to me that way. I really love the ColourPop the best. I like this Revlon a lot, and it was hard for me to choose, but I think the ColourPop gives me more what I'm looking for. I want a little luminous look and maybe to not have to wear a highlighter, to be able to just put on the foundation and have that luminosity all day. My daughter Danielle bought the foundation for herself too, and boy, I noticed a difference right away. I think it's the most beautiful one she's ever used. When we were out shopping, she would, in the natural light, like say she'd be sitting in the car, and I just said, wow, your skin glows. It almost looked like a doll skin. So I really do think it is an amazing foundation, and for $12, it's certainly worth you giving it a try. If you want a matte finish, I think the Revlon is the way to go. If you do like a luminous look, like I do, and I actually like to go back and forth. I like matte and luminous depending on how I'm feeling or what I'm wearing. But if you like the luminous, then the ColourPop is the way to go. Now there is a price difference, and there is a difference in the amount of product. The Revlon has a full ounce and the ColourPop has a little less than an ounce. And the Revlon's $9.99 where the ColourPop's $12. So there's a little difference there, but I'll leave that up to you, whichever you prefer for what you're going for. Now, the winner of the candle, this candle is amazing, and it's worth $75, and it's going out to Sue W. So Sue, congratulations, and if you will look in my description, I have my email address, and if you'll send me your address, I'll get this right out to you. Thank you to all of you that entered the giveaway, and now I want to tell you about another giveaway. I have really been going through my things. I've become more of a minimalist, and I have some beautiful jewelry that I bought. It's costume jewelry. It's from like Ann Taylor and other stores, and most of the necklaces I paid $40 to $60, somewhere in that range. And I'm just not wearing them anymore. So I'm downsizing, and what I've been doing is giving away things to friends. One of my friends at school, she's a young teacher, and I just know what kind of jewelry she likes, and I had a piece I thought she would love, and right before school ended, I gave it to her. And she was so excited. So I wanted to do a giveaway with some of the jewelry that I have. I have two pieces, and I believe they're both from Ann Taylor. This one is shorter, but it's adjustable. You can adjust it to a longer length. Beautiful crystals. And then the other one is a longer necklace. They're both silver. And this one definitely was Ann Taylor. It has a little Ann Taylor tag on it out of silver. But they're both just beautiful necklaces, but I'm not wearing them. I've gone to wearing a lot smaller jewelry now, and so I want to give them to a friend. So if you're interested in either one of the pieces, please write bling me. If you want just the smaller piece, you could put small bling, or if you like them both, just say bling me. And if you just want the long one, then maybe say bling long, something like that. So I'll know in the comments which piece you want. And then in a couple of weeks, I'll do the giveaway and send them out to two of you. I'm going to be doing more of these because I have some things that are just beautiful. They look brand new that I'm no longer using, and I want them to go to a friend. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful. Have a great week. This month I found one of my favorite concealers I've ever used. This is very new to me. I've only had it for a couple of weeks, but it's from Makeup Revolution, which they sell over at Ulta. It's called Conceal and Define. I was looking to try out more concealers. You know, if you watch my channel regularly, I love the L'Oreal Pro Glow, but that one isn't really as good for covering up